for joining us here on the Neutral Zone. I am Phil Milani, joined as always by my esteemed colleague, my partner in crime. Really, the best way to describe this individual is my everything. It's at Aric DiLalla.
Phil, call me Kermit the Frog because I'm here.
Oh, nice. How long have you been working on that?
A little bit.
Yeah.
1 week since the last episode.
You had that planned.
I was ready to go.
Of course, Patrick Mahomes was asked about his Kermit the Frog voice during the Super Bowl opening night.
What did he say?
He said, that's my voice.
That's his voice. He owned it.
That's his voice. Yeah, he owned it. Good for him.
I think it should be an official Neutral Zone policy, not to compliment.
Oh, that's true. I'm sorry. I take it back. I take it back. How are you feeling about the big game on Sunday?
Nervous, Phil.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Denver natives, Denver connections.
With the 49ers.
With the 49ers.
Yeah, of course.
And I think if you live in Denver, it should be mandated that you cheer for the 49ers.
Yeah,
but
I agree.
I'm worried.
John Lynch, obviously, at the top there. Former Bronco.
Yep.
Brian Griese is a quarterback's coach.
It's true.
Kyle Shanahan. Kyle. He is the son of former Broncos head coach Mike Shanahan.
That's true.
You might not know that. I don't know if you knew that.
They didn't mention that.
Yeah. Let's see. Christian McCaffrey, the son of Ed McCaffrey.
That's right.
I'm trying to think about Randy Gregory is on the 49ers.
That's the big one.
Any other connection?
Bobby Turner, right?
Oh, Bobby Turner. Yeah. So, yeah, a lot of crossover there with the 49ers.
I did our old friend Sidney Jones's show the other day.
Who?
And we talked about some Broncos connections on the Niners. I forgot John Lynch. Whoops.
Oh, you forgot the top. That's okay.
You think that's the top one?
Well, I mean, just organizationally, that's the highest connection I think that there is.
Oh.
In terms of like former Broncos.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think the Kyle's kind of the top.
Kyle is right up there. A lot of cool old pictures in the Broncos database.
They diff or are they cool?
Like deep in the library. If you open the vault,
you
go way back there, you pass Swanson.
Oh, I was going to say, you find Swanson down there?
You keep going.
It's kind of a trap door.
There's a trap door. You have to go down.
You play the flute so the dog falls asleep?
Exactly, just like Harry Potter. You have a torch.
I don't think you really have to. If you have to explain the reference, is it as good?
Sorry. Yeah. You play
the flute.
You play a little
dog
chess.
Falls asleep.
You play a little chess.
Yeah, maybe you get on a broomstick.
Just do all kinds of different things together. Yeah.
And boom, there's a picture of Christian McCaffrey.
No, Kyle Shanahan.
There's probably some pictures of Christian,
There's
too.
There's video of Christian playing the mascots as a kid.
Yeah,
that's a famous Christian one. And Kyle, there's all kinds of Kyle from when the Broncos were winning back-to-back Super Bowls. Back-to-back.
Nice.
Yeah. Of course, the Chiefs have a chance to do back-to-back, which is
boo.
Boo.
There's 7 franchises, Phil, that have gone back-to-back. You know the only franchise to do it twice?
There's a team that's done it twice, huh? Cowboys?
No.
No, I don't. Steelers.
Yeah. Pittsburgh Steelers have done it twice.
Yeah.
Broncos are one of 2 teams, of course, in the last 25 years, which is kind of more impressive because of free agency.
Broncos, Patriots.
Yep.
So how many have we got there? Steelers, Cowboys have won back-to-back.
Packers won the first 2.
Packers won the first 2, so that's 5. Are we up to 5?
Sure.
Something like that. The Raiders won back-to-back, right? Yeah.
I don't know all 7, but I told you a couple of them.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's nice.
Teach a man to learn the 7 teams, and he'll know them for a lifetime. But if you just give them to him, he won't know.
That was really good. This is some of the best podcasting I've ever heard.
That's what you can expect on the Neutral Zone, which Phil, some have said it's surprisingly entertaining.
Yeah. It's the number 10
ranked podcast.
Broncos podcast.
On Michael Carmelini's list.
I think, I don't know if this is true, but it might be out of 10, but we're on the list. We're happy to be on the list.
Yeah, honored.
Really? Yeah.
Privileged.
Really. Aric, of course, the Super Bowl is coming up on Sunday, bud.
We dream of getting to 9.
Is also about honors.
Yeah.
Honors for the NFL for the season, celebrating the year that was. Right, Aric? Am I right?
Our best
accomplishments?
accomplishments?
It was or is? I don't know.
The year that was, I think.
Yeah. And, of course, this is an opportunity for us to celebrate Randy Gradishar.
That's right, Phil. A big congratulations to him.
Waited a long time, Eric. Long time.
That's right.
Yeah, and now
he's hashtag in.
He's hashtag into the Hall of Fame. Pro Football Hall of Fame. His legacy will live on in Canton, enshrined, really, if you will.
I would.
A nice bronze bust.
That's right.
And he'll join some of his Broncos friends in the hall there.
Some of his friends?
Yeah.
Some of his pals?
John Madden says they talk to each other at night, so he won't be lonely in there.
No. He'll be rightfully honored, Phil. The induction, of course, will be this fall in Canton, Ohio.
Yeah, if you say August is fall, that's...
Sure. The late summer.
Yeah.
In Canton, Ohio. But
yep.
But yeah, a big congrats to Randy. Obviously, well-deserved, Phil.
Yeah.
Long awaited.
Finally, the Orange Crush defense gets some representation.
He was a finalist on 4 occasions. Twice, I believe, as a modern candidate. And then he was in that Centennial class, a finalist that year. I think many thought he would be chosen, but unfortunately,
yeah.
How many?
Many people thought.
Many. They were ready.
The best people.
Unfortunately not chosen. But now, Phil, the wrongs have been righted, if you will.
That's true. All is well in the universe.
That's right. And, it's nice, I think, when in these senior candidates, obviously some of these guys get inducted posthumously. Nice when these guys are around and able to kind of get their flowers from people. And nice little surprise they did here for Randy.
Yep.
So just a cool deal. And, he's spoken before, Phil, about how tough this wait has been. And so finally doesn't have to worry about it anymore. Orange Crush gets into Canton, which was a big oversight, and we're happy for him.
Yeah, and there's probably a lot of people who listen to this podcast who have no idea what kind of player Randy was, or, I just feel like sometimes younger people today,
you think this
such
audience,
as yourself,
you think this
not like me,
this audience skews young, you think?
Yeah, of course. We're hip.
Yeah. Listen to those 12-year-olds out there listening.
What's up, fellow kids?
Yeah.
It's the Steve Buscemi.
Yeah, I do know.
How do you do? I just think that, maybe you think that Randy played against a bunch of plumbers or something. That's sort of the idea.
Jake Plummer played in the 2000s.
Yeah, that's true. But that was not the case. He was a terrific player, Eric. And, with his legacy now being honored here by the Hall of Fame, it got us thinking, is it possible?
It's dangerous. You don't ever really want to do that. Get us thinking.
It could be lethal, if
dangerous.
You will. It got us thinking, okay, the top 10 Broncos of all time. It's getting crowded now. It's getting harder to make that top 10 list.
Kind of like the podcast list.
Yeah, exactly. We're entrenched there at number 10.
Yeah, you can't
get us out.
Sorry, 11.
Yeah, and the only place we're going, it's up.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Phil, over the last few years, the Broncos have announced a 50th anniversary team.
Oh, yeah, they've done that.
They announced the Broncos 100. Of course, the Neutral Zone top 10 is a bigger honor than both of those combined. This is what you want.
What do you think we should send out?
Oh, maybe a game ball.
Yeah. Because, if you make the Ring of Fame, you get that orange jacket.
And a pillar.
That's fine.
Your name on the facade of the 5th level.
Yeah. If you make that top 100 team, maybe you come out, have a nice weekend or something. But if you make this,
it's big. You get one sticker.
It's big. You might get a sticker.
Yep.
So but I thought now it's a good time to revisit that list, and it's getting harder and harder to crack that list. So we thought maybe we'd go over it and just sort of see how we can get through it.
Okay.
There's gonna be some tough decisions.
Oh, yep.
But we're gonna do our best,
and people will be mad at us.
Yeah, of course, or really happy. Eric, though, before we get into the list, this is an interactive show.
Oh.
We're by the people for the people.
That's right, Phil. And to to get on down to Neutral Zone Lane. There's several ways you can do that. You can leave an email at neutralzoneshow@gmail.com. Little Ben Swanson's been down at the Pro Bowl, but when he gets back to work, he'll send those right on over.
Yeah.
You can leave a...
He's been working down there, right, at the Pro Bowl?
I don't know what he's doing. He's hanging out at the Disney or something.
Something, a roller coaster or something. Yeah, I think some sort of an ear, something.
Some sort of ear situation.
Yeah.
You can leave a voicemail at 707 neutral. That's NEUTRAL.
Neutral.
Or Phil, you can go directly to x.com, tweet at us at Aric DiLalla with an A, at Phil Milani with a PH. You will also, will you be on KOA News Radio this week?
I don't think this week.
They said enough.
Well, my representation was got with their representation. Oh, yeah. Some lawyers got involved. The price of things is just
fallen.
You got very escalated. Things got escalated. We'll see. We're hoping to work out something here in the future.
You and I, of course, both co-hosted, not together, but with Nick Ferguson. They had me on, and it was nice. And then they said, "Well, we'll just downgrade a little bit for a couple of days."
Yeah,
but I think we hope to be back there at some point.
Yeah,
but I wouldn't.
It was fun.
Don't keep calling them asking to get in contact with us. This is a better way.
Yeah. Of course, this is directly to us.
Direct to us, and the most direct way, Phil, is to go to the Broncos official YouTube page.
Yeah.
You go to the Neutral Zone.
I love this way.
You find the comment section.
A lot.
And after you do a little
subscribing.
After you do that, you scroll down to the comment section. Leave your comment right now.
Aric, our friend Dominic Cavazos.
Oh, yep.
He was on fire last week.
Woo. He
was really getting after it. We were talking about, for some reason, not drinking water.
Oh, yeah.
We were talking about this, and
couldn't be me.
Couldn't be you, but he says Ben doesn't drink water. Playa.
Yeah, because we said it could be a playa that doesn't drink water.
Yeah, but he says Ben.
He's the playa.
He's the playa. What do you think? You think Swanson could survive without water?
No. How would you make watercolors?
And then he followed that up with a separate comment, and he said, if the Broncos draft a quarterback, I'll make bourbon my only beverage for the rest of the offseason, just like Aric.
Oh, my gosh. That's dangerous.
Yeah, that's nice. J. Prez Bronk, he likes to sometimes go off the cuff and just like change the topic a little bit. He says, what's the best chewing gum?
That's not what that means, but okay. Well, off the cuff is just like you say it spontaneously.
Maybe he commented spontaneously. Yeah, that's true. I didn't use that right.
No,
that's okay. I tried.
What's the best? I tried. That's true. What's the best chewing gum?
Yeah, I feel like he's asked this before. I feel like we've talked about gum on here before because, of course, Sean Payton loves juicy fruit.
That's true.
Yeah, juicy fruit. Yeah.
I don't know what I like the Trident Orange, but not a sponsor.
Sometimes I would just be grinding at my desk.
You'll smell it,
and it's kind of like a cartoon, like with when they put a pie out on the ledge.
Yeah,
it's almost like that, where you've opened up a nice piece of Trident.
It goes
orange.
out from my cube under the wall into your office, and kind of just so vast in there. There's so much room that the
palatial.
Yeah, really. Exactly. Yeah, you've kind of got the high desk up there.
Yeah,
kind of looking
up
down on
my
everyone,
throne,
and the gum smell just wafts.
Yeah,
there's a lot of wafting. A lot of wafting.
A lot of vents. Some of the nicest vents. Rocky Suds Detailing.
Oh, first time commenter?
No, I believe I believe.
Just kidding, Rocky.
He talked about us filling in on the radio last week. And he was like, since you guys were on the radio, maybe we could get someone from the radio to come on the Neutral Zone a little bit. He suggested Philip Lindsay, Aric. What would you think about having I don't know if two Phils on one show.
Yeah, too many. If you have two fills, you're too full.
The lineup is filled already.
Plus, Phil, of course, KOA is the partner station of your Denver Broncos.
That is true.
Philip Lindsay.
We don't mention
the Colorado kid works over at a different radio station.
Different one. Yeah, we don't mention that.
Our old friend D-Mac used to work over there, but now he doesn't. He works at another radio station that we also won't mention.
Yeah, so much radio.
A lot of radio.
A lot of radio going on.
760.
J. Prez Bronk also comments here and says, I like when Aric says the kids would say. But then he also mentions that you look like the kid from 2.5 Men. Is that?
Wait, I look like the kid from. Oh, that's rude.
Yeah. What do you think about
That's
that?
not very nice.
That. Yeah, that was not.
That's not.
Wow.
That's not very nice. Wow.
And then the last one is from Darren Tadlock.
J-Prez Bronc is on my bad list now.
Darren Tadlock says, "Dang,
You think that kid's wearing a quarter zip?
He can't handle a quarter zip.
No.
I don't think. No.
Wow, that's rude.
2.5 Men. That's a pretty funny show.
Yeah, canceled. I think, right?
Yeah, because like Charlie Sheen went off of it.
Yeah.
Ashton Kutcher came on, not quite the same.
Oh no.
It's hard. It's hard when you got a sitcom role and you kind of are locked in with those people, and then when it doesn't quite work out, yeah, it doesn't. Very few sitcoms can pull off the change in actor. I believe Cheers did that. But it's hard to pull off. Seinfeld.
You think
of
so?
course.
Like this?
You had to Google it. Yeah. That's what he
The
said.
hair is terrible.
Seinfeld's dad, I think, changed. So these are deep in the weeds. Anyway, last one here.
Deep in the woods.
Deep
here
in the
on
woods. That's
neutral
not.
zone.
Yeah. Darren Tadlock says, "Dang, I ruined my perfectly good vanilla ice cream," and that's because you suggested putting olive oil,
Well,
and he says it ruined it.
you got to put good olive oil on there.
Yeah, not just your regular.
No, not vegetable oil.
Extra virgin olive oil.
Yeah.
EVOO.
Oh, yeah.
That's
nice.
Sometimes it comes in like a very specific bottle that you just put a couple of drops.
Yeah.
Because it's that high quality. That's
If
the
you're
kind you got to
pouring
be
like
using.
a cup of olive oil on here, that's not the right way to do
That's
it.
not what you're talking about. No.
You need a little eyedropper, and
Yeah,
just do a little
just
drop.
bloop, bloop. And then it's nice.
Yeah, it gives it like a nice olive oil has a little bit of a
bite.
kind of a bite to it.
Yeah. That's nice.
A creaminess almost.
Oh, yeah.
That's what you're looking for.
Yeah, almost like a balsamic vinegar.
That could be nice on ice cream
you
too.
might be able to do a little of that too.
Yeah, maybe a little both.
Mix it
Two
up.
little cups. Little
Two.
taste test.
Oh, yeah. See which one you like more. Let us know. Get back to us, Darren. Maybe you just didn't do it right.
Yeah, you didn't do it right.
Obviously.
It's okay.
Eric, should we get into our first topic then? It's really our only topic.
Do you think he say 2.5 men because we say you're 1.5 and then Swanson's
You're
one?
You're
And
rattled.
I'm the kid.
You try. So now
rattled
you're trying
here.
to take a shot at me. Huh?
I'm rattled here.
2.5.
I don't like that.
If I'm 1.5,
I'm half.
you're a half, and then
guess.
Swanson's. Well, maybe you're three quarters,
I'm rattled.
and then Swanson's a
I
quarter.
don't like that.
I don't know. Did you see this week that Mike Vrabel? They were being critical about how his size, and maybe he was a little bit.
Yeah. He said he's too intimidating to be a head coach.
Yeah. I saw a nice comment. They were like, think of all he's overcome being tall and strong.
And an
How did he do it?
NFL football player.
How did he do it?
That's tough.
How did he overcome those odds? Yeah, I don't know. I was I thought it was sort of hurtful.
Oh, very hurtful.
As someone who could relate to Mike Vrabel.
Right. Tall, strong,
Yeah,
intimidating.
Pretty much all of the categories.
Jacked.
Yeah.
athletic.
Say. Yeah. We're cut from the same cloth.
What would you
sort
do to win a Super Bowl, Phil?
of. I can't really get into that. This is
Okay,
a family show, I think.
Yeah.
So anyway, let's get into our first and only topic here. And we're really going over the list of top 10 Broncos all time because we're sending out our congratulations to Randy Gradishar, now a member of the Pro Football Hall of Fame. He's been elected. Then later in the year, he'll be inducted.
Not in the fall, in the summer.
In
Late
the
summer.
In the summer. In
Fall.
Canton, in the Canton heat. Yeah.
It's a place that exists.
It's a place
say
that's
that.
here
I'll say that.
in America.
It happened. It's there.
Yeah. And they put out the white flooring, Eric. And then
Terraplast, isn't that what it's called?
Is that what it's called? I don't know. It's to protect the
Like the plastic. I think it's called
something. I don't know what it
Terraplast.
is. Yeah. It's white. It reflects the sun.
I'll fact check.
Yeah. It reflects the sun, and then they do it at high noon. And
So
it's
here's
really
something
nice.
funny. This is
Okay.
unrelated. I searched 2.5 men kid.
Yeah.
The suggested search is 2.5 men kid in rain.
In rain.
That's weird.
Yeah, I don't know what that means.
To be clear, I didn't Google that. People are Googling that.
Other people are Googling it. Yeah, anyway, so he'll be there. It'll be a nice ceremony. And
Terraplast.
That is what it's called, huh?
Yeah.
Confirmed. So
It's
hot.
It's like a
It's
brand,
hot.
I think, like Kleenex.
Yeah, a tissue.
Yeah.
But this is a brand, not a sponsor.
Well, there's a Terraplast.com, so I think it's I think that's the brand name
Of the protective flooring.
Yeah.
For events.
Yes.
Anyway, it got us
hot.
thinking, okay, the Broncos are getting more and more Hall of Famers now. So in order to make the top 10 list, it's getting more and more difficult. So we thought, just as a fun little chit-chat exercise here, we'd go over the definitive top 10 list.
Now, are we ranking these, or we're just saying these guys are in the top 10?
How do you want to do?
I
You
think
want to do
it's
more
hard.
specific?
I think it's hard to rank. I think it's just saying these guys are in
this
group.
grouping.
Yeah, maybe you got to tune
Okay.
in for a future episode to see
Okay, yeah, we can go.
where they rank.
Okay, that's fine.
Some of like the eras,
They're different. The Eras Tour.
Yeah, it's different.
Hard. Yeah, it's different.
Hard. Diff.
So I think that we'd all agree that, like, when you think of the Broncos, you start with John Elway.
Yeah.
I
So we're
think
not
that
ranking, but we're saying he's probably
we're not
number
ranking,
one.
but he's definitely number one.
Yeah. Yep.
And then I think it's safe to say Peyton Manning.
Okay.
Those are like sort of like the tier top of the top of the top,
Right.
right?
Yeah, I think
That's where you
because-
start. I think that's where you start.
Yeah, I think you could argue that other guys have a case to be ahead of Peyton just in terms of duration of career, but I do agree that he's definitely in that top 10 group. So
Yeah.
I don't feel the need to get too
You don't want to go crazy.
picky.
Yeah.
like he's in the group.
Yeah. I mean, 2 Super Bowl appearances, 1 an MVP, set a bunch of all-time records in a Broncos uniform. And, he still lives in Denver.
Yeah, you got a Lambo that puts you in the top 10.
Yeah, I think that's safe to say. And we're talking about Broncos, so like not just people who happen to play for Bronco, but we're talking about
Right.
top 10 Broncos.
Right. And there's some guys that great players, but maybe played here too short and
Yeah.
or maybe
Like John Lynch is probably not a top 10 Bronco of all time.
right, even though he's a tremendous Hall of Fame player, Ring of Famer here in Denver, but had a
Just a few years
I know
here in
he
Denver.
played the same amount of time as Peyton, but I mean, Peyton was just doing crazy things.
He was a Q.
He's a Q.
He's a Q. Shannon Sharp, Terrell Davis, sort of next, you think?
Yeah, I think those guys are in that tier. I would probably put Floyd Little in that tier
Yeah.
as well as
franchise?
like a Hall of Fame player.
As a Bronco. Yeah. Played,
Yeah, as a Bronco.
Yeah.
Um,
Of course, Shannon Sharp had a little foray out east,
Little
but
foray.
then he came back home.
came on home.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Rod, I mean, obviously all-time receptions leader, leading
Yep.
receiver in team history. Great story.
Oh, yeah.
Shannon is Shannon Sharp.
Shannon Sharp.
He's that guy.
He changed the tight end position forever, if you
Yes.
ask me.
He finished his career, of course, as the leading tight end in all sorts of categories.
If you ask me, he sort of paved the way for what we're seeing by the modern NFL tight ends, how valuable that position has become. We've heard Sean Payton even talk about where he was when he saw Mike Shanahan start moving Shannon Sharp around and how much of an impact that had across the NFL, really waves all across the NFL. Like, whoa, what are they doing here? Shannon Sharp is that guy, if you ask me.
For sure.
And maybe you would say now, okay, Tony Gonzalez, was that next guy, and then Gronk, of course, Travis Kelce, George Kittle. I mean, this is a big tight end matchup in the Super Bowl. I think if you ask me, Shannon was a guy who sort of became that more of a weapon as a tight end. I mean, there were great tight ends before, Kellen Winslow, of course, but I think that Shannon was utilized in a way that has paved the way for today's NFL.
Yeah, he still looks like he could play.
Oh, yeah.
Jacked.
I think that he eats the same thing for breakfast every single day.
I've never heard you talk about this before. Could you
Do
tell
you think
us?
you could do that?
Yeah.
Every single day. What would it be?
I don't really eat breakfast, so boom.
Yeah. You do the intermittent
thing.
fasting? Is that what's going on?
I'm just
Or
not
you're
a big
not
breakfast
really-
guy.
Yeah.
I'm right. Some people they want to eat breakfast and delay getting to work. I just get right to work.
Yeah. Well, when you wake up at work,
Yeah.
you
But
can just have
there's no time
breakfast.
to go have a hash brown. to make a waffle. Give me a bottle of water and let's get to work.
Let's go. Let's just go.
We mentioned Floyd there.
Yeah.
I think the franchise, that's pretty self-explanatory, right?
Yes. He is a big reason why the Broncos
exist.
And we're not relocated during some tougher times early on in the days of this franchise.
Days of yore.
In the days of yore. He knocked on doors trying to get support. And now you think of the Broncos as this sort of, traditional NFL franchise rooted in, a historically successful program. But prior to those days, it was Floyd Little who was doing the hard work.
Yeah. And he's a Hall of Famer, has his jersey number, retired. One of 3/4. One of 3 numbers to be retired. We'll say it that way.
3 numbers are retired.
That's true.
He's
4
one of them.
Guys.
Yeah.
Tripucka.
Elway. Floyd Little and I don't know.
Are you being serious?
Peyton's
name was on.
Oh, Peyton's name was on there, huh?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That was up in the stadium.
It was. Not just 18.
Oh, got it. So Tripucka.
Yeah.
And Peyton Manning.
Okay. Did we talk about? I think we mentioned TD's name, but
we did.
We kind of skimmed over that.
Yeah, we kind of did those fast.
Got confused.
Yeah. So Terrell Davis, I think, is obviously a top 10 Bronco. 2,000 yards rushing, MVP campaign, Super Bowl MVP. I mean,
Mile High Salute.
He did it with braces on. He overcame migraines. I mean, he just, you name it. He was sort of the guy who got the Broncos over the top, if you ask me.
When like in the old days, kind of a farmer would go to a field and he'd be looking at his wheat and someone else would be trying to take it and he'd say migraines.
Yeah. You think people were just trying to take other people's grains, huh?
Yeah, valuable wheat.
And he was like, no,
migraines. Yeah. The TD had to deal with that.
Yeah, he had to deal with that. Yeah.
Tough.
But he overcame that. And, man, his playoff rushing statistics. Playoffs. I think he averaged like close to 200 yards per playoff game.
Yeah, he almost averaged 6 yards a carry or something like that.
Which is just insane if you think about it. If you really think about it.
What if you don't think about it?
It's still insane.
Both insane.
Yeah. When it came to the playoffs, he took over.
I think there's a couple other guys that are.
Okay, let's recap real quick what we've done here. John and Peyton.
We've reached 6 already.
John, Peyton, Shannon, TD, Floyd, and you mentioned Rod as well.
Rod.
Yeah, Rod Smith.
Do you think that's okay, or you want
Rod Smith? Yeah, that's what John said before he threw the Hail Mary to him against Washington. Yeah.
And he caught it. Kind of crazy. I was watching that back. I was like, the Broncos threw a Hail Mary against Washington that year, and then they did it again this year.
Yeah, that is true, except they lost a game this year. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, crazy.
Other than that. Yeah, you think it's okay to put Rod in as a lock?
I think he's a top 10 Bronco. I mean, he's the all-time leading receiver.
Right.
He's meant so much to this organization just throughout the years as a player, and now mentors some of the young guys. Plus, he's just a good dude to be. He comes by, hangs out.
He's just
a good dude.
Chilling.
And a tremendous player. Overcame the odds. Eric, you talk about some of these guys: Shannon Sharp, Terrell Davis, Rod Smith. They've overcome the odds and had outstanding careers. Rod is probably, like, in terms of, like, I know a lot of people like to bring up his name, like, as a Hall of Fame, like, semifinalist type of thing. He's probably, like, right on the cusp there. Like, maybe, like, not quite a Hall of Famer, but he's, like, really close.
Right. But just in terms of what he meant to the Broncos, I think there's a strong argument that he's a top 10 guy.
He's a lock. He's a top 10 guy. So that's 6.
6. So only 4 spots if you're doing 10.
We only got 4 spots left.
I think Champ Bailey
100%.
has to be in there.
100%. Champ Bailey is the greatest defensive player to play for this team, if you ask me.
Wow.
That's just sort of my personal belief here.
Wow.
I mean, he somehow was able to be like a lockdown takeaway cornerback. Don't even think about it. But somehow he still made all these interceptions and game-changing plays. I mean, he is sort of just like that guy who's like, I don't know how you did what you did. You know, I believe the term some people use is freaks of nature. Played offense, defense in college. He's kind of like the Travis Hunter of that era. Could do it all. Go Dogs.
You ever been to Athens?
I have been to Athens.
Wow.
In between the hedges. Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah. That's a nice stadium.
Oh, yeah.
That's really nice. The locker room, there in the locker room, at least when we were there, they still have lockers like for their all-time greats. So like you could go into a locker room and they still have like a Champ Bailey locker in there.
David Pollock
is another one. Yeah. That's got to be pretty cool if you're like a
Stetson
top
Bennett
cornerback. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe Brock Bowers. I don't know.
Bowers.
Yeah, I said Bowers.
Yeah. We're still studying up for the draft here at the Neutral Zone headquarters.
So 7?
Yep. You talked about Champ being the best defensive player in team history. I think the only argument is Von Miller.
Yep.
And so he's
Super Bowl MVP.
Super Bowl MVP.
I think that he's got to be a top 10 Bronco of all time. If you ask me.
Defensive Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
Multi-time Pro Bowler, franchise's all-time sack leader.
Yep.
He's got to be on there.
I think that he definitely has to be on there. They don't win Super Bowl 50 without Von Miller, obviously. That entire playoff run, he just became a different person.
And now, Phil, we are in a
2.
We got 2 left, and there's a lot of good players left. You got a Hall of Famer in Gary Zimmerman. You have a Hall of Famer.
Only a couple of years here in Denver, though.
Right.
So
we've decided, I think at least, that he maybe doesn't make
does not make this list. Just in terms of what caliber of player, obviously checks the mark, but what he means to the Broncos, yeah, you could say that they don't win the Super Bowl without him. Him coming in and fortifying that offensive line, protecting John. You're right. They probably don't win without him, but just the length of time, it's hard to keep away some of these other guys versus getting Gary in there.
Talk about a John Lynch, a DeMarcus Ware. There's some
great players.
Some older guys that are tremendous. A Simon Fletcher, a Rick Upchurch, a Lionel Taylor, a Louis Wright, who people say he should be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
A lot of good guys there. I think that the ones that I at least look at here, and maybe 4 guys that I think of for 2 spots, if you will, are Steve Atwater.
Yeah.
Randy Gradishar.
Yep.
Congrats on being a new Hoff.
Of course.
Carl Mecklenburg.
Yeah.
And Demaryius Thomas.
Yeah. I think what Demaryius meant for this organization, he's definitely in that category. I think
that mix. And I think if it were me choosing, and it is me because I'm on the podcast, I would choose Steve and Randy there.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, look, I think what happened with Randy here is, like I mentioned at the beginning of the show, not many people, especially who listen to this hip podcast, they don't know what kind of player he was.
This is like 40 TikToks in a row. They're like post-part 47.
Exactly. Which that's how you use TikTok.
Yeah, of course.
3 hours minimum at a time. Right. You can't really just
not doing anything
TikTok
else
away. But let me just remind the kids. Okay?
What he did?
1978 AP Defensive Player of the Year. The only Broncos player to win that award.
What's AP stand for?
Associated Press.
Oh, got it.
Yeah. That's what matters.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. 2 All-Pros.
Yep.
7 Pro Bowls. Okay.
Swanson was at all of them.
He had 20 interceptions, Eric, as a middle linebacker. That is.
Right in the middle.
He had a nose for the football. You're going back through and looking at his highlights. I'm like, man, this guy's returning interceptions. 4 touchdowns. 4 touchdowns for Randy Gradishar. And the tackle numbers are just, some people are like, I don't believe it. Well, guess what? Tom Jackson played right beside him. He says they're real. The numbers are real. It's just because this guy, he was everywhere. He was everywhere. He was kind of like Ray Lewis. Like when you watch the Ravens play, Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, in on every single play.
Yep.
Every single play, those 2 guys are right there. Randy was kind of like that with the Broncos, just such a nose for the football, smart player, athletically gifted. He didn't play football until he got to high school, Aric.
That's when you started.
He just shut up and said, "Let's just do this."
You started podcasting in high school, and
same year that Randy joined high school,
and you also have accomplished great things.
Yeah,
that's nice.
So, I think that with him finally getting recognized by the Hall of Fame, I think that it legitimizes those numbers. And I think that if you're saying, look, I believe these numbers, and you look at all of the other accolades that have come with his career, he's got to be a top 10 Bronco of all time.
Yeah, and I do think there's something to be said for like the representative of the era, right? That Orange Crush defense and so many great players on that unit. He is the face of that group.
Yeah.
And you don't have that group changed talk about Floyd Little, but that group also changed the fortune of the whole organization, gave them legitimacy as a winning team for the first time, obviously went to that Super Bowl. This franchise probably doesn't look the same if it's not for that group. And so in addition to all the individual accolades and impressive play, I think being the leader of that group, that matters for something. And when you're looking at who are these top 10 guys who represent what this franchise is all about, who represent the different eras, Randy, because he's a face of that group, I think that's just kind of another token for him.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, everything changed that 77 season where they just went from being just like the Broncos to, okay, they're beating the Steelers at home in the playoffs. First ever game, the Broncos make the playoffs. They beat the Steelers, which in the 70s, it was all Steelers all the time. Then they go the next week and they beat the defending Super Bowl champs in the Raiders, their division rival, like a hated team, you know. And then they run into the Cowboys in the Super Bowl. They don't get the job done. But, I mean, that run and the way that it changed this city, Aric, if you look at the clips from that time, the city went insane. I mean, they're meeting the team at the airport after a big win, you know, when they won the division. They're at the airport at Stapleton Airport here when they're just going crazy. And I think that they threw them a parade after losing the Super Bowl, and it seemed warranted just based off of the impact that team had. People got behind them. Sometimes there's these teams that they don't win it all, but they just sort of galvanize the city, and people went crazy. And I think you're right. Things changed at that moment. Of course, a few years later, John Elway gets traded to the Broncos, and then the rest is history. I mean, this franchise was completely different from 1977 moving forward.
Yeah, Phil, and that's why he earned that spot. I will say, kind of right in the next tier is our dear friend Trevor Siemian.
Oh yeah, he's knocking on the door.
He's knocking on the door.
He's like really
only 3 years, but he won a Super Bowl, of course.
He's Super Bowl winning quarterback Trevor Siemian.
Yeah, and a good guy, good dude.
He is a good dude. Yeah, and then you think Steve is probably that last spot, huh?
Yeah, I think so. He's the Hoff. He's just
Hoff.
right there, and so if we say he's not, he's going to hurt us.
He's going to come in here. Of it. No more neutral zone if we don't.
But yeah, the smiling assassin. When you got that sort of name, you belong in the top 10.
Yeah. A lot of defensive guys. You know, that's sort of this team for so long. There was like John and then a bunch of really talented defensive players.
Right.
You know, and that's sort of what, you know, this franchise was about for a long time.
And I think, you know, we'll see what happens. Hopefully he's here a long time, but I could see someday, you know, when we're doing this podcast in 15 years, talking about Pat Surtain the same way as a guy who has the potential to be in that category.
Yeah, of course. A guy who's getting rolling here in the community, getting stuff, you know, just making an impact here, and obviously his play on the field.
Right.
So I think that he could be pushing his way into that, but that's a tough.
Got to win.
You got to win. It's a tough list to get on.
That's true.
Eric, you know, I think you know you got to be a Ring of Famer, obviously, and so you know it's just tough to be 10 for a franchise like this is tough to get on there.
For sure, but that's what makes it meaningful.
Yeah. Did we miss anybody else? I'm just trying to think about who else would be
just like in consideration.
In consideration, yeah. You know, you mentioned Demarius. Who was the other person you mentioned? Carl Mecklenburg.
Carl Mecklenburg.
Yeah. I think
great
he's
player.
Great.
I mean, then there's a group of guys I think that, you know, could be Ring of Famers or are Ring of Famers. You know, like a Dennis Smith is a great player. Chris Harris Jr. is a great player. Did I say Rick Upchurch earlier?
Yeah, you mentioned Lionel Taylor. Yeah, these guys
I mean, there's a bunch of guys, obviously, that, you know, Rich Tombstone Jackson.
Oh, the club.
I mean, that's a guy that, like, if he stayed healthy.
Feared.
Yeah. So one of the best players in the league. And so a lot of guys, right? Yeah. But that's what I think right now.
Yeah.
You're not wrong. Tomorrow.
You're not wrong if
I think it, then that's fine.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. But I think that's a healthy list. Get on YouTube and let us know what you think. NZ Nation, speak up. I know that people are opinionated about this.
Oh, yeah.
You know, anytime you start doing lists, people freak out.
Good for the clicks, though.
It gets the people going.
Yeah.
You know, a nice, healthy list.
You'll never guess who was snubbed on Neutral Zone Top 10.
Yeah. We could do a snub episode.
Oh, yeah. Next
snub episode, yeah.
Snubs.
Snub
Maybe someone's like, hey,
you nailed
Carl
it.
Mecklenburg should be on there over Rod Smith.
What?
I'm just saying, maybe somebody thinks. I'm not saying I think that. I'm saying
you're not saying.
I definitely don't think that because we did the list, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But somebody could think that.
Ooh, Tom Nalen could be on this list.
Yeah, Tom Nalen.
Could be,
or you could say like, I don't think Peyton played here long enough to deserve to be on that list.
Oh,
you'd be wrong, but you could say
you'd
that.
be wrong.
You could say that though.
I think you'd be wrong, but yeah, you'd be wrong.
Yeah,
but yeah, a lot of good players coming through here. So, and it's nice to see the Broncos for so long. It was just John Elway in the Hall of Fame, and now
a lot of guys.
The floodgates opened up. You know, they're just filling in.
They're open nice. And they're filling in. So, okay, let us know what you think, Eric. Any shout outs? Oh wow,
Randy, of course.
Randy, shout out to Randy.
This whole episode's sort of a Randy shout out.
I'm just very happy for him. You could tell how much it means to him. And good for him. Liz Gerald's,
of course.
Community.
Yeah.
Something that's happening in the community, I assume.
Yeah,
next week, I believe, is Rack Week.
Random acts of kindness.
That's right.
You ever do something like that?
No. They're not really random because they're kind of planned.
Kind of planned
People
out.
Don't know what they are, but I know what they are.
Yeah. Somebody's planned out some of the things.
Somebody's planned them.
The acts.
Yeah.
But, like, have you ever been, like, in a drive-through and they're like, oh, that person paid for your thing?
Oh, I don't think so.
No. Yeah.
I don't want that to happen to me.
You don't want that because then you would be like oh.
That, like, I'm guilty. By myself probably.
Oh, and then you're like, you feel obligated to pay for the person behind you?
And then like a minivan pulls up and there's 6 people in it and they're like, that's going to be $87.
Uh-huh.
I'm like,
you're Aric DiLalla, though.
That's true.
I'm confused.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
they're like, see that person in that Ferrari? He paid for your.
Yeah, exactly.
See that guy in that red Ferrari?
Maybe you should just start doing that. Like, oh, I'm in the Ferrari.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, and they're like, oh, that was nice.
I was going to say, maybe I should just start getting in line at any drive-thru. I see a nice car. I'm like, let me get in there.
Yeah,
right
sneak in behind. Yeah. That's a good.
Random acts of kindness are nice.
That is nice.
Like maybe next week I'll walk in and just be like, Phil, I like your shirt.
Whoa.
You won't even know.
Thank you.
You won't even know.
I've been kind of going with a crew sweater.
Oh, the sweater.
Yeah. Not the quarters. No zip on this. It's just
no zip, just crew.
Yeah. I've been mixing it up just a little bit.
I like that.
I'll get back to
the off season's a time to try things.
Yeah, the beard lives on. If you're watching on YouTube,
yeah,
it's I don't know. It maybe has one more week to survive.
Oh,
our friend Tom Agnetti. I don't think he's a fan.
Oh, he doesn't like it.
He's been sending me things on X that's like buy a razor, old timey ad that's like, hey, here's how you can pick
shave.
up here's how you can shave.
Makes sense.
So we'll see.
All right.
Yeah. So I'm somehow any others.
I came back from Las Vegas just for this. I got to pop back over there.
You're gonna pop back?
Yeah. pop back.
You hopped on the show.
Hopped on, hopped off.
You hopped back over.
We're actually both wearing those new goggle things.
Oh,
The
yeah,
VR.
from can't really say the
Can't
company.
really say where they're from, but you know what they are.
Do you think that that's going to take over?
No.
I kind of do.
They're $3,000 a piece.
Yeah. But that's probably what they said about the first computers that came out. You know, they're like, what is this thing? This is dumb.
What did they say?
You want me to just sit here and like
What
look
do
at
you
this
remember
thing?
from that time in college?
Yeah. I was like, this is insane.
You're like the internet?
I was like,
yeah.
Mom, I need this.
Yeah.
Yeah. You play the Oregon Trail on there.
There's something deeply dystopian and creepy about like we're gonna end up just everyone sitting on the couch with their own headset on it, like you don't even know what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the future.
I don't love that.
Yeah.
I like community, connection.
Yeah. I bet you there'll be a way to connect via the
You just sync
headset.
up.
You sync.
It's
Yeah.
like what if you just took
the
it off?
multiverse.
What if you just took it off?
You guys, you just change.
You watch the same thing at once. It's like, what if we just got a TV? You know?
Yeah, but this is more interactive, I think.
It's an interactive headset.
Yeah.
You
You're
can contact them at 707.
immersed into it.
Yeah, immersive.
That'd be like if you put one of those on and you watch this show, you'd be right in the studio with us. I'd be like, whoa.
Yeah. Then you get roasted.
You kind of be like, Ben Swan. Yeah, you're not safe.
Yeah.
It's like Ben Swanson. He's just sitting here.
I could pretend that Charlie Sheen and
You could pretend like you'd be on the show.
The other guy are right there with me.
It got to you. J. Pres Brown, congratulations. Thank you for your service. Rattled.
Yeah.
Yeah, rattled Aric. So, and of course, shout out to Nikola Jokic.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. The Nuggets, the top of the West right now. It's something else. I'll tell you
Wow.
what. Ike in the office going crazy about his Clippers.
Wow.
Yeah. So just shout out there. Nice little shout out.
I'd say Ike did a really nice job at the Pro Bowl in 2023. I'd say the Pro Bowl settled the score this year.
Oh,
I think it's 1-1.
1-1.
Yeah.
Yeah. The deciding Pro
Next
Bowl
year.
is coming up. Yeah.
Stay tuned.
Yeah. You can't beat the Pro Bowl every year.
No.
You know,
It's tough.
Because
It fights back.
it's resilient. Yeah. That's true. Settle the score. Yeah. Now that you got to get back, you got back in the lab.
Yep.
Just try to get better.
We
for
told
next year.
him, as Sean Payne would say, fine line between a groove and a rut.
Yes.
And Ike just
Yes.
get back on the right side.
Yeah, that's right. That's a good recall there.
Yeah,
From
thanks.
last season.
Thank you.
All right. Well, I think that's going to do it for us.
It's this season.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. That was, right? Was the season that
This
was
season.
or no? Oh,
Yeah.
the season that is. You got a flight to catch back to the
Las
sphere.
Vegas. Yeah, they're gonna put my face on it.
Yeah, your head is.
And everyone's
gonna
be like,
become
"Why is that guy from 2.5 Men up there?"
I thought that show was over. Yeah, no.
It's coming back.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for us. For Aric DiLalla, I am Phil Milani. You've been listening to
The Neutral Zone.